This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 of Hot Mic, ready to rock and roll on this Thursday morning. We'll check in live in Jamestown coming up in about a half hour. Sam Getzinger will join us to preview the girls Class B tournament that tips off later today at about 1 o'clock. Those games will all be on WDAY. The Class A girls will be here on Extra. We'll give you the full breakdown on that. If you need another reminder, we're going to beat you over the head with it, so you don't forget, coming up later on in the show. The Summer League tournament officially tipped yesterday down in Sioux Falls. The North Dakota State women will play their first game tomorrow afternoon against Kansas City. Each and every Thursday we are joined by the NDSU women's basketball head coach, Jory Collins, joins us. But we're going to talk some dad stuff here because we're talking EDC, and the Horace boys have a big one tonight, and you're sticking around to check that one out, which is against Red River. That'll be a fun one at the Shack tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I think they split in the regular season. Red River's a good team. Both won the home game, so neutral court here. We'll see what happens.
How did conversations go with your son on you take coach hat off and just dad? How do you maneuver that?
Yeah, I'll be on. I don't talk a whole lot of basketball with him, Dom. It's not really his primary thing. He's just a good athlete. He has his role on the team, and he comes in and does his best. So I don't really get into him about any particular. I'll send some clips every once in a while and just be like, hey, this is a box out right here. You could have done this right here. But not very often. I try to let him just play and have fun with it.
You mentioned baseball is his jive, right?
Yeah, that's his prime. That's what he spends all his time doing. He loves basketball. He loves playing with his teammates, and he loves basketball season, but he ain't in the gym shooting in the off season. I can tell you that. He's hitting and throwing.
Hey, that's awesome. You know what? Multi-sport is the best part. For you as a dad, can you be around other people, or you got to sit by yourself?
I usually stick to myself. I stick to myself as much as possible. And I try to just stay as poised. I don't really say much. I cheer for everybody, but usually under the skin, I'm boiling quite a bit, but I'm a good faker, and just look like I'm bored to death. I've mastered that.
That's good. That's a good expression. Can you give us the facial expression of that? What does that look like when you're in the stands? Then that's good. That's good.
Right there. Just complete nothing.
I always appreciate our time. Bison have got Kansas City coming up tomorrow. I know we chatted about this after the regular season finale with with Omaha, that it very well could be this team again. As a coach, preparation-wise, how much is the hay already in the barn with this being round 3, and you just played them last week?
Yeah, there's a lot of it's done. I don't know. Everybody's going to make some slight tweaks and things leading up to the tournament, and but nobody's changing who they are in general. And, you try to improve on areas where you weren't good against them. Try to look for things that you can take advantage of. You try to anticipate what somebody might do different given the circumstances in the game and things like that, and talk about those things. But, usually you get to the tournament and you got to be who you are, and you got to go do what you do. And at this point in the year, there's just not a lot of brand new things coming out. You just dive into your fundamentals and your philosophies, and you try to do those best you can.
Kansas City is what they are. So to have a full week to prepare, is that, I don't know if an advantage, but you just did it. So how much does that lean into that schedule that, okay, we know they're going to press, we know how athletic they are, that we can lean into our game prep from a week ago?
Yeah, I think it helps. Obviously, playing those guys on a 1 day or something like that, they can catch you because it's just really hard to simulate.
Right.
And playing them recently, they're just they do get after you in pressure and spots. They pick those spots, but they're so physical, tough kids, very, very competitive up and down their lineup. And that's hard to simulate, in your own practices. But being able to play them here, less than a week ago or whatever, and then be able to watch that film and it be real fresh, I think gives you obviously you have a real fresh perspective on who they are and what they do.
The way you shot in that game, Jory, was clearly your best shooting performance of the season. I don't know how to replicate that, but can you manufacture that kind of performance again against the defense like how they play?
Well, I think we'll manufacture the looks. I don't have a lot to do with if the thing goes in or not. I wish I did sometimes, and I don't know if that'd be good or bad. uh, but anytime somebody is pressuring you and being aggressive, you're going to get two on the ball occasionally, and you're going to have to make the next pass. And there's going to be shots there. Some of them are people they want taking the shots. And that's just all part of it. And if you step in and shoot the ball with confidence, and you believe in your preparation and the time you've put in the gym, then typically those balls go in quite a bit.
You're used to going down there and winning games. What is it about stepping on that floor, looking around that, especially for your freshmen, you're going to have 3 out there for the first time, that, hey, to get the wow factor out of the way during shoot around during warm-ups before you get out there and take the floor?
Yeah, I mean, today we're going down today, Dom. We don't play tomorrow. They're going to go watch a half of one of the games this afternoon just to get a feel and a vibe. And I told them today when we broke practice, I mean, we're very lucky in the Summit League that we have one of the best conference tournaments
really good
in all of women's basketball. I mean, there's going to be people in the stands for every game, regardless of who's playing, because that's just what it's become. It's become an event, even since I've been here, but I know before that even, it's just a great time and a great weekend. I love that it's on a weekend. I'll be interested to see how that goes, playing Saturday, Sunday, finale on Sunday. So you just got to embrace it. I mean, this is, you hate to say, hey, we've worked all year for this one moment, because that's so finite. But, this is where, this is a third part of the season. This is the postseason, and it can go as long as you win. You get to keep playing. And that's always the sense of urgency that comes with March is always refreshing and fun, given that, January and February can start to wear on you the last 3 weeks or whatever of February regular season. And you're always looking for what's that light at the end of the tunnel, kind of what's next, what's going to be refreshing for us. And obviously going to the tournament, I think, does that for every team.
Well, when the calendar flips to March, what is it about, like in practice or just being around a team? Does it change when the calendar literally flips to March? Have you noticed that in your history?
Pretty close. Yeah. I mean, because I've always judged it back even when I was coaching in Kansas. You'd start your season, it's nice out. Then you go through winter. And if you're still playing when it got nice out again, then that's how I always knew we had a good year. And it's just, there's something about the optimism that comes with March, is it's kind of a clean slate no matter what you did. You go to a tournament, anything can happen in a tournament. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's watched college basketball knows that. Been in both sides of that. Got upset in big games, had some monster upsets coaching. It's really, really fun time.
I asked Avery Coonan on Tuesday when she found out she was named All Summit League first team. She said she teared up a little bit. She's had a dynamite year. I know you and I have talked often about her potential. I know she's probably still working her way towards that. But Jory, the kind of year she had to be first team All Summit League, just reflect on what you saw out of your sophomore.
Yeah, just so proud of her. I think she puts a lot of pressure on herself. I think she has very high expectations for herself. We obviously have those for her as well when you see somebody with the physical attributes that she has. But, just the mental part of it, handling situations, handling coaching, handling pressure of, how we do is a lot of my responsibility. I need to go out and perform. For young players, I mean, that can be heavy. That can be a heavy burden. But she's so grounded in who she is as a person. And how she was raised, her faith. There's a lot of things about Avery that allow her to handle situations at a really high level for a young player. And then she's just grown as a basketball player, and she would tell you I think her confidence in who she can be and what she can do out there is, but I mean, I think in league play, she averaged 17 and 8 or something like that. Yeah. And obviously had a great, really second half of conference play, was pretty consistently, a dominating presence for us. And it just, good things happen to people that do things the right way, Dom, and she most certainly does that, and she's reaping some of the benefits of that.
Can you go back and give us the recruiting story on that? Because she committed early, I want to say. She's after her sophomore year. Was there any other vultures trying to sweep in after she had committed to you guys?
Don't remember. I remember I saw a video on social media of her, uh, and she was playing in a tournament that we couldn't go to, but Heaven and Dietz were coaching a team in it.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, this girl plays at 4. Go over and watch her. Let me know if we need to, pursue this at all." And they came back. She was only like probably 6 foot, then 6'1", but she's pretty athletic. She probably need to take a look. And she was really young, obviously. She didn't play on a big circuit
No.
in the summer, and she's small town, high school. So not a ton of exposure. But I don't know how much that even matters anymore, Dom. People know who the players are
That's true.
and go take looks. And I think it was just a really good fit for her being 2.5 hours away, and for us and what we needed. And sometimes it's, a match made in heaven's pretty easy to see for both parties. And I think it's working out.
It's worked out as well for your freshman guard, Marissa Frost. She was named All Summit League freshman team. Have you seen her go through the usual freshman, like, okay, explode, then maybe tail off? Are you hoping now? We talked about Claire Stern about this, I think, last week or a couple weeks ago, that her best or a second wind is coming now for postseason.
Yeah, 100%. And that's usually pretty natural for a lot of freshmen. Not every freshman's playing 28, 29, 30 minutes a game like Marissa Frost is too. So, somebody that's playing 10 minutes a game, you have a lull for 3 or 4 games, it might not be as noticeable. When you're out there leading the show for a vast majority of the game, it might, show up a little bit. And she had a little stretch of 3 or 4 games, or maybe only scored a basket. But you just knew that that's what it was. I mean, it's hard as a freshman. You come in, you're used to playing basketball in high school now, and you have your long AAU season and all that. But those guys aren't practicing on a daily basis. They go have their long weekends 3 or 4 times a summer. But the daily grind here is what you don't get used to, until you've done it for a time, of the lifting, the film, the practice, the preparation, the travel is pretty much 6 days a week.
Yeah.
For 4 or 5 months. And that takes, you got to build up that stamina mentally, physically, as a young player. And it's so much easier your sophomore year when you know what to expect and know what to do. But there's no question, I think Riz has caught her second win here. She's been great in practice this week.
Abby Draper was named all second team. Molly Lenz was selected to the newcomer team. That is reflective, Jory, of a really good year when you have a lot of awards given. How much credence do you give that, other than say, hey, they had a dynamite year and now we got to take it and put it all together for 3 games in Sioux Falls?
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of all 4 of them. I mean, I don't know that we had anybody on anything in the preseason.
Correct.
Which is to be expected. I mean,
Yeah.
we lost 2 first teamers or whatever, and you have some maybe unknowns, but obviously as a coaching staff, we know there's going to be some people stepping up into roles and are going to have opportunities to produce and those kind of things. And proud of Abby Draper for becoming a senior kind of stalwart for us in and around the basket. Has had a great year. We knew Molly was going to get plenty of opportunities to be on the newcomer team and come in and kind of solidify our 1-2, and I knew Riz was going to have a good freshman year. Now you got to go out, and none of that stuff really matters. You got to play a game tomorrow at 2:30, and nobody on Kansas City team gives a damn what our accolades are or who made what. You just got to go play, and it's a reflection. Got good players, did a good job recruiting. I give our staff a lot of credit. Coach Dylan and Mick and Jamie and Mac all play a huge role in the players that we bring in. And I love the direction we're heading there.
The finality of it, Jory, whatever it ends, it's so unique to basketball. Just even watching some conference tournaments yesterday and teams having their season end. I mean, there's no manual for a coach, but describe that of going in. So this is it. Like, if we play, if it doesn't end up happening when it's over, like that, how difficult is that?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's you have players and you coach them. Coach Schulte for 5 years. You have other players that have been in. Every team every year is just a different team. You're
Right.
going to have a lot of the same players, but how the new ones come in, people leave, it's just so unique each season. And when you have a group you love a lot, like I love this group. This group has just been a joy to coach, and we've had our ups and downs playing, but we've never had our ups and downs in our culture or who we are or how we attack what we're doing. Um, how they treat each other has been awesome. It's been the fastest season I've been a part of, Dom, just because it's been great to get into practice with this group. And that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't across the country. Some people are glad their season's over. I can tell you that. They're like, okay, we got to start again. Glad that one's done. I am not going to be happy, when this one's over, because I do enjoy this group so much, and I hope we can keep it going as long as possible.
If you win tomorrow, Jory, that's 20 wins. That's a big benchmark. How important is that to you, regardless of advancing in the tournament, to get to that benchmark tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we want to be as a program. Obviously a perennial 20-game winner. I would like to get to the point where we're 24, 25 as a mid-major program. I think that's going to be the next step for us, is to what do you got to do to win the 3 more games? We can go back and talk about maybe where we dropped the ball on a couple moments in some games this year that didn't let us get to that.
Yeah.
And then how can we as a team mature and grow and know going into next year that we can take care of that, and we can be, I want to be a powerhouse mid-major team that has a chance to win the league every year, that has a chance to go to the tournament every year. And sometimes you're going to get it done, sometimes you're not, but you want to have a team that you feel like going into the year has that opportunity. If you play well, man, we're good enough to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're headed.
Hey, enjoy being dad tonight. I will see you down in Sioux Falls tomorrow, okay?
Okay, thanks, Dom. Appreciate it.
Jory Collins joins us each and every Thursday. North Dakota State, Kansas City coming up. That matchup is tomorrow at 2:30. We'll give our full Summit League breakdown here in our next segment. The Bison win that. They would play the winner of Oral Roberts and South Dakota. That game is coming up here in about 90 minutes in Sioux Falls. Remember, the top 2 seeds on each of the men's and the women's side play today. They have the off day tomorrow if you win, and then you get a chance to rest up and then play in the semifinals. Everything, of course, being moved to the weekend. And we'll go through the brackets here when we come back. Again, a reminder, we'll have Sam Getzinger join us coming up from Jamestown in about 15 minutes as well. Back on Hot Mic as we roll on to this Thursday morning right after this.